Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie Oemiller, back for another episode with another leader in the lacrosse world, the only defender to ever win the most prestigious award in college lacrosse, the Tewarton Award, and someone who I'm grateful to look up to for leading the way. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from these episodes from some of the people I have met through my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE, subscribe. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another really special guest this week, and I'm pumped to get right into it. Rachael DeCecco is a legend in the game of lacrosse, known for her unbeknownst talent on the field as a defender for the 2-time national champion Princeton Tigers in 2002 and 2003, playing for the USA national team in 2005, and now spearheading the future of the game with her time previously helping to start the WPLL and now with her role as head of the PLL Academy. She is someone I'm grateful to have crossed paths with through the opportunities that amazing women like herself have provided women like myself in the professional lacrosse world. The opportunity to play, the opportunity to travel the world to Japan alongside her, the opportunity to see bigger, better, and higher heights for the women's game, and ultimately work our butts off to make sure that we get there together. Throughout this episode, Rachael and I touch on what the game means to us, what it takes to play at the highest level, some of the pieces of wisdom that she's taken from Coach Chris Saylor, her father, and other mentors in her life. We talk about her 4 amazing kids, the inspiring work she's doing to connect the world's best lacrosse players with the future studs of the game, and I thank her for all that she does to inspire me about 97 times throughout this episode. So, Rachael, thank you, and I hope you all enjoy. Let's get into it. Welcome, everybody, to another Dream On episode. Super excited about this one. I'm really, really grateful for this one as well. Rachael DeCecco is our guest tonight, and someone that I've looked up to in the lacrosse world for a long time now, not only as a player, but just as a leader in our sport. So someone I'm very grateful to have met through our sport. I think that's something that a lot of us in the KO17 lacrosse family and also just in the lacrosse world in general are kind of just really grateful for the fact that our lacrosse world is so small and we meet people that we never thought that we would meet. And I'm excited to, dive into that a little bit on this tonight's episode and just kind of get all of our listeners to know how awesome Rachael is. So welcome again. And Rachael, thank you so much for being here tonight.
I'm super excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me. This will be fun.
Yes, we always have fun. We like to laugh, that's for sure.
We do.
All right, so for our listeners, for those of us who don't know who Rachael is, how could you not, first of all? Second of all, Rachael DeCecco is, right now, she is the head of the PLL Academy. She also helped launch the WPLL in 2017 as a senior vice president. She also ran the WPLL Foundation, obviously, so me playing at the WPLL, we had a lot of connections there, and she helped me through a lot of different opportunities there. As a player, Rachael played at Princeton. She won 2 national championships. She was a Tewarton Award winner as the only defender to ever do so on the men's or women's side. I'm going to dive into that. I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want to, but we're going to dive into it tonight. She is a 3-time All-American, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. She was in the Team USA World Championship, inducted into the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2019. All the things, all the accolades, all the lists, and so well deserved. But overall, just an awesome human. And again, I can't reiterate this enough, someone I'm really, really grateful to have met. So I know I'm listing off a whole bunch of things that make you want to hide your face, Rachael, but we're so proud of them. And I am just proud to know you. So thank you again for being here. And I'm excited to kind of dive into all that makes you you.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. So here on Dream On, we like to go off to a good start. So 3 things that before we dive into just kind of like all lax talk all the time, we kind of like to dive a little bit deeper and get a little grateful, show a little gratitude. So first and foremost, what is something that you are thankful for today?
Two things. One, that my kids are back in school full time, which has been a year in the making. They're happier, we're happier. Super grateful for that. And we just, right before this call, we just had one of our PLL team happy hours. We did a St. Patty's Day themed scavenger hunt. And being remote from everybody has been obviously tough. So we get together routinely as an organization and try and have some fun. So we just had a blast as a group doing that earlier today. So grateful for both of those things.
What does a scavenger hunt consist of? What did you have to look for?
So we had 40 items. So you have you go into breakout rooms, and tonight's scavenger hunt was obviously St. Patty's Day themed. So it was like green cup, a horseshoe, a lucky charm. We had a top hat, and there was 40 things. So we had 4 teams. You had 25 minutes. Whoever got the most items in 25 minutes won. My team actually won, which was fabulous. We had a ringer that had almost all of the items. So,
oh my God.
It's just a fun way. Like, it's hard to build those connections when you're not being able to sit down with people and have conversations or be together. So we've tried hard to create opportunities for connection outside of our day to day, since we're all Zooming so much at this point. But it was a lot of fun, and everybody, unsurprisingly, is super competitive. So everyone's into it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can imagine that being probably one of the most competitive Zoom calls.
It's taken pretty seriously, all in good fun, but everybody wants to win.
I love it. Well, congratulations on the win. Yet another win for your squad. I love it.
Add it to the resume.
So, I mean, it's kind of, I'm going to do it on your next intro. I'm going to have to add that.
Perfect.
So I guess this kind of goes into our next part of that, something that you're proud to say that you accomplished today.
Oh, that's a good one. I got a great Peloton workout done this morning. Allie Love is incredible. One of my just sort of heroes. I love riding with her. So I got a good Allie Love ride in this morning, which is always a great way to start my day.
Definitely. Are you a morning rider or a nighttime rider?
A morning. If I don't work out within the first 90 minutes of being awake, I probably won't do it. So I'm a get up, get out of bed, get on the bike, and check it off the list type thing. So first thing in the morning is when I like to exercise, for sure.
Good for you. I love Allie Love too. She's always a good motivator. All right. So let's look a little bit farther into the future. It could be tomorrow, could be in the next coming weeks, next coming year, something that you're pumped to go out and chase.
Well, I'm excited to do my job when COVID, we're not out of the woods by any means, but I joined the PLL March 2nd last year, and then COVID hit. So I've been operating our business with the team in a pretty intense, scary place. So I'm excited about, a post-COVID world when we can be with more kids, run more events, and just be together more. So I'm starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel for us, and excited to kind of put all the pieces together that we've been building for the last year and get out and crush it.
Yeah, I can't wait either. I mean, light at the end of the tunnel, you put it perfectly. I think we're all starting to get that itch, especially as the weather's getting warmer. I mean, not here, but we'll get there eventually. Good old East Coast lacrosse season, right?
Yeah, this is fake spring on the East Coast.
Yeah, we got about 3 days last week, and then snow again last night.
Yep.
Love it. All right. So as mentioned, we're going to get right into it, but obviously a pretty stacked list of accolades there. I'm just going to come right out and ask, what's one or a few of them that you are most proud of?
I mean, the national championships for sure. I think, obviously lacrosse is a team sport, and working towards a goal with people that you love and accomplishing it is pretty indescribable. I think individually the Tewaaraton was pretty special. It came, the Tewaaraton ceremony came off the heels of our graduation. So my whole class, we sort of caravaned down together to DC. So that night we had just graduated, we just won a national championship, and then we got to celebrate in DC together. So that moment with my whole class was pretty amazing. And I think that makes that award pretty special to me.
I think that's what that award means, right? I think that's the pinnacle of it right there, is just having that moment with your team, and whatever that might look like. It's different each year. So that's really, really awesome. That's a cool story too, because being in DC, it's special, but having your entire team there after reaching the top point of what you guys wanted to do for the last 4 years. I can only
Yep.
imagine how special that was.
It was pretty fun. And like my parent, so I mean, it's a close knit group. So some parents were there, and like my parents and my brother, and we just had a night. Like it was just fun to celebrate. Just sort of felt like the cherry on top of what had been an incredible kind of ride.
Yeah, and I think you talk a little bit about like that family feeling too. I'm going a little bit off the cusp here, but I think it whenever you speak about Princeton, it brings me to me and Stony Brook. Like that's what I just relate it with, and I think that was one of the things that was something that immediately clicked when I met you, was that you were still so close with Princeton and all of your teammates, and all of those memories are still so special in your heart. And I think that's something that's going to continue forever for me with Stony Brook as well. So can you talk a little bit about, your time at Princeton, your time with Chris Saylor, your time with those teammates who are now lifelong friends, business partners,
Yeah,
all those moments?
absolutely. I think I mean, you had it at Stony Brook. There's just something special about the culture. Obviously, like it starts with the coaches. Chris is an incredible legend leader, and I had amazing assistant coaches along the way that brought additional skill and like sort of just flavor to the team. And the environment was just, obviously it's hard to play a sport in college, and I think like having teammates that you could rely on and lean on and just really have fun with, we're just bonded, and the culture was one of team. Like there was no one person was sort of no more important than the group. So we were just kind of like all in it together. And as I get farther and farther out from that experience, I appreciate it more and more. And Princeton is unique that we've had Chris forever, 35 years I think now. So we're all tied through her. So I have alumni relationships with people that I didn't play with. We're not there at the same time, but we all sort of believe in the program and what it stands for, and like are connected that way. We actually just finished, Christy Samaras, one of our favorite humans, just led us through a 6-week tap into the team challenge. So for the last 6 Monday nights, current team and alumni, we all set a goal for ourselves. And every Monday night we'd get on and she would put us through some quick exercises. Somebody would share, and it was just honestly so fun. Because Christy's an incredible facilitator, but that connection I think is really powerful. And I'm like so grateful that I have really like dozens of women I can rely on whenever I need something.
I think what's incredible about that, you said that was current players as well as all of the alumni, all in one group. Like that just kind of shows that like full family, full circle. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yep. It was neat to see the current players, because they're going through something that none of us had to go through. I mean, to be in college now, they're obviously not even having a season. So it felt good to be kind of like show up for them in the way that we could, and then kind of hear about what they're going through, and just be just supportive if we can, because it's got to be so difficult for all of them, those that are enrolled, those are not enrolled. It's just a tough situation, obviously.
Absolutely. I can only imagine what they're going through, having the game that they live and breathe taken away from them, right?
Yep.
So that's really awesome that you guys are able to be there for them, because I can only assume that they feel as if you guys are still their teammates, and that's what makes it special. I think that's such a cool thing. That got me like, I don't know, I want to join. Like,
it ended. We're like, can we just keep going? I mean, it was 20 minutes on Monday night, but we all just look forward to that sort of time together, and just kind of reminisce and tell stories and just kind of laugh and share. Some shares were really intense and serious, but it was just a nice way to be together in the way that we can right now.
Absolutely. And I think you talked on a little bit of this, and just how like the locker room there and just the experience, it goes beyond, on the field, it's off the field, and it's lifelong, as playing at Princeton. And I think what you also mentioned, legendary coach Chris Saylor. And I've heard some incredible, one-liners from her, and I've heard from yourself and Krista and all the players that have played for her, that just how insane of a coach and insane of an impact she can have on your life. Like while you're there for 4 years, yes. And for you as a lacrosse player, yes. But what do you think are some of the things that you took from playing for her? You know, obviously as a lacrosse player, but also into life, as life lessons.
I mean, absolutely. I think one of them is personal responsibility. I think Chris held us accountable as people, as teammates, as athletes every day. So there were moments when I wasn't pulling my weight or wasn't doing what I needed to do, and like Chris, you know, she would hold us accountable to that, and we would have conversations, and she would coach us through it. So and she has such incredible like pride for Princeton and the team. So that sort of gets built into us as well. And then I think just like she's just an incredibly good human being. Like she does the right thing. Her coaching was always positive. It wasn't about the other team. It was about what we can do better. She is the, you know, I'm very biased, but her pregame speeches are incredible. Christy actually made her do one for us at the start of COVID last year.
Oh gosh.
Like the first month, and it was hilarious. She recorded Chris like giving a hype up, like we're gonna get through this, Tigers, and sent it to all of us. And there's just something magical about her messaging and her tone, and like we would all run through a brick wall for her to this day. So I think like she's really a powerful leader, and she just, I mean, she shows up like. And when I was thinking about a career switch, like she was on my first calls. Like, you know, she's just kind of there, and just like wise and will help you through whatever you need. So super grateful to have her in my life now and then.
That's amazing. I think your run through a brick wall quote there, I think everybody needs someone in their life like that, right? Whether it's a coach or it's a friend or someone who might be from, especially in like the time that we're living in right now, it might be someone that you just follow from a distance, might be some sort of role model, especially for young listeners out there. I think that's important, right? Find somebody who like makes you want to get up out of bed and get on the Peloton first thing in the morning, because you know that they're holding you accountable from a distance away. I think that's really cool, and I think that's important, and I think that shows just how great and important she is to your life, even now, even past your playing days. So and
Absolutely.
I can obviously attest to that too, you know, with my coaching staff as well at Stony Brook. So so talking about yourself as a player, right, going back to your playing days, we have a lot of young listeners, a lot of young players. You know, what might you want to tell a young player that's looking to achieve great things? Might be, you know, playing on their varsity team this year, might be looking to play Division I. It might be, I want to play for Team USA one day. I want to be that team leader. I want to be that one that's going to make some noise. A young player who's got dreams like that, what would you say it takes to be able to play at that level and be able to succeed at that level?
Yeah, I mean, I think looking back on sort of what drove me, I think first and foremost, make sure you're doing it for yourself. There's no guarantee. I remember going through the USA tryout process, and it's super stressful. You're trying out, and you're living it right now, right? You try out for 1-2 week event for 4 years you spend trying to get on that team. And you really have to be motivated like by yourself. If you're doing it for somebody else, don't. I think like think about your why and what makes you want to put the effort in and reach those goals. And then I would say really focus on the journey and not necessarily the end game, because you know, those moments when things are really hard, or you know, you have a great game or you have a bad game, like you're building that muscle, that resilience, that strength that will carry you through beyond lacrosse. So, and obviously it takes a lot of hard work. One of the things that I coach, you know, a rec team now, and I really am like, get on the wall, get your reps in. And that's something that I didn't spend enough time doing. Luckily I was a defender and it didn't harm me too much. But lacrosse is one of those games, like if you go out and shoot 100 shots a day or hit the wall for an hour a day, like you absolutely will get better. There's no way not to. So much of the skill part of lacrosse is like within your control, and that effort will pay off in the end for sure.
I love that. I think that's, I mean, you know me very well and you've seen me coach a bunch, but stick work is king. It really is. I think just being super comfortable with your stick, no matter what position you play. And I think what you touched on there too, like, yes, you were a defender, but you were one of the best players to ever play. Team USA, to Wharton, national championships. just absolute legend as a player. What do you think was like, if a young player that isn't fully defensive minded or isn't fully investing themselves on the side of defense, like what can you say to someone, even just as an athlete, not even a lacrosse player, like what is the importance of playing defense and why do we need to invest ourselves so much in it in order to make us successful players out there?
Yeah, I mean, often kids, when you say like who wants to play defense, and not a lot of hands go up because they feel like it's just like not as fun or exciting, or there's no glory in it. Defensive, I mean, honestly, like even if you want to be an attacker, like becoming a better defender will make you a better attacker. So learning both sides of the game is key. And also, like in lacrosse, as an attacker, you're going to need to redefend. Like you're going to need to try and get that ball back on the ride. So even if you're like not interested in being a pure defender, you'll become a better attacker by learning defense. I also think if for people that want to play in college and beyond, like having a well-rounded skill set is going to make you much more recruitable to coaches. I think because there's so many more attackers, you come in with a midi with strong defensive skills or a defender, it just helps your opportunities and allows coaches to see like a more well-rounded athlete, and they're going to be more likely to kind of want to have you on their team if your skill set is more broad.
Love it. Love that you put that there. You're putting my defensive skills to the test here. That's one thing that I'm focused a lot as strictly an offensive player for most of my life. I would say these last couple of years have been dedicated to focusing a little bit more on my defensive side of play, whether it's the ride or even now with the hopeful Olympics in 2028 and the Olympic style rules. Everybody's going up and back.
Yeah.
Midfield. It's a new world, and it's something that I wish I, as a younger player, paid a little bit more attention to in my game so that I could not be shell-shocked now when I'm 20 years old. But yeah, you're going to have to get out there on the field and give me some private lessons.
Would love to. As long as you teach me behind the back, I think we can make a deal.
Anytime. We got that down. Okay. So you mentioned quickly as well, like Team USA, the process behind it. You played 2005, correct? That World Championship. What was that journey like to get there for you? What part of your lacrosse journey, what part of your lacrosse career were you in? Was it during college, post-college? Do you think, a lot of those different things a lot of those different factors that go into what it takes to make the U.S. national team?
So it was 2 years post-college. So I was still pretty sort of in the lacrosse groove. Obviously, there was no pro game at that time. I was in the workforce, working a 9 to 5 and training. So it was, I think the timing was kind of good in that way. I came in halfway through the 2001 World Cup. So I joined developmental team in 2003, and then 2004 and 2005 was on the elite team. It was really grueling, to be honest. We had a very senior team that had been together for most of them 2, if not 3 World Cups. So there was like very few spots on the team. And it was hard. I mean, I think, unfortunately, we, and I say this because I'm really competitive. We won a silver medal, which I should be super proud of, but it feels like a failure because we didn't win the gold and it was at home. So, it was tough. It was a tough experience to not come out with the gold. But you can't put into words what it feels like to wear red, white, and blue and stand in Navy Memorial Stadium and hear the national anthem. Like there is no word that can kind of describe the emotion and the gratitude for being able to do that. Obviously the outcome was not ideal. But those moments, I think, are truly unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to put into words, right? I think it's a question that we get a lot. What's it mean to play for Team USA or wear that jersey? And it's difficult. I think you put it in the best possible way you could. Imagine yourself standing in Navy Memorial Stadium, listening to the national anthem with USA across your chest, and you're about to play the sport that you love and that you're so passionate about, and you put blood, sweat, and tears into with the people to the right and to the left of you. Like that's a pretty surreal movie type situation that I don't know about you, just kind of gave me a little bit of chills.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I still think about, obviously, that game. It wasn't close, to be honest. As Jen Adams and Hannah Nielsen and Sarah Forbes. It was an incredible, and Sonia LaMonica. It was an incredible Australian team. And then I played for 3 more years. And then I got married 2 months after the World Cup. And then my Jason was deployed. And when he came home in 2008, I stopped playing, which, like, the World Cup was 1 year away. So in hindsight, I like, why did I stop? But, we had Avery in 2009, so I can't really regret it, but because obviously I wouldn't have her if I kept playing. But they won in overtime in Prague. I think it was overtime 2009. So I feel like they kind of redeemed. It was a completely new team. I don't think there was any repeat from the 05 to 09. I think it was a completely new team. So I was glad that they rebounded and have won gold since, and I have high hopes for 2022 as well.
Yes, fingers crossed. And I think, obviously I love Avery. So I'm glad.
Me too. Me too.
I'm glad it all worked out. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
but I also think, what you getting to play after that 2005 World Cup, and even though you didn't play in the next one, I'm pretty sure I'm very confident in saying that the teammates that you had for those next couple of years while you did play took a lot from you and took a lot, from your leadership and from your experiences from that 05, from the next 2 years that you did play into that 09 win. So you played a big role in that as well, even if you weren't there. And you play a big role in it now too, just, I can feel it, I can feel it out on the field. You're playing for not only the people the left and the right of you, but the people who have put on the jersey before you and gotten us to this position, to be able to stand out on, the field at US Lacrosse headquarters in Sparks, Maryland, and be able to do what we do at our training weekends. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for people like yourself doing what you do to make that possible. So thank you.
You're welcome. My honor.
So talking about the game a lot. I mean, obviously, live, love, lax. That is it's our motto. I'm going to share a very, very embarrassing fact. Actually, that's still one of my old email addresses. Great. Like lax 17. So it lives. I might have to change my Instagram handle or something.
Yeah, you should.
Oh my God. But on the topic, I think it's really incredible that after college and after playing and while playing for Team USA, you pursued a career that was outside of lacrosse at first. You were in healthcare administration. Can you talk about your time there and what kind of made you want to make the switch back into the lacrosse world?
Yep. So as I said before, I mean, the pro lacrosse wasn't even a whisper when I played. So that wasn't like playing, and I wanted to play for Team USA as long as I could, and then I was going to get a job. And I always wanted to work with in the senior population. I just think that generation is so incredible and so underserved and underappreciated, and always wanted to work with them in some capacity. So I went and got a master's in healthcare administration from George Washington, and then got my nursing home administrator license. So I did that from 2005 until 2017. And I loved it. You get to be around the residents every day and interact with them every day, which was really special. And I learned a lot and got to build a lot of really good memories and relationships. But it was pretty tough. It's obviously like a pretty taxing career, and with the family, and it just became, it got to the point where I was sort of just ready to think about something else and create opportunity where I could be more present for my family and just have a little bit more predictability in my schedule. And I was in New York City helping Christy Samaras launch Brave Enterprises, doing all sort of the back end business stuff for her. And Michelle DeJulius came up one day for lunch and started to talk about the WPLL. And immediately I was like, I want to do that with you. I want to do this. This is incredible. Like, I've got some, strong business experience now. And to create an opportunity for women to play is a dream come true. So had to have a lot of conversations about it. It was obviously pretty risky because I had my career was great. Like there was no reason for me to just sort of leave outside of kind of wanting to do this new thing and the other reasons I mentioned. So I talked to Chris, obviously talked to my family and kind of made the leap in 2017.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, that it can't be easy, especially, being comfortable and being happy in a job, right? And I think what's amazing about that is you took the leap for us, like for us players, and for someone that got to play themselves, but didn't necessarily have that, like you said, that opportunity to play professionally, which you would have probably if you had the opportunity, right? And I think that's amazing, and I think that all of us players are so grateful to you and Shell and even Krista too for having a great play in like making that happen for us and making that happen, because that's a story that I think I tell all the time. Up until my sophomore year of college, there was no professional league either. So you have a dream, you want to play Division I, and you want to win that national championship, and then you want to hopefully be able to play with Team USA. But you guys created this whole other place for us to be, and place for us to exist, and place for us to prosper and be able to show young girls that it's okay to, like, hey, you can play lacrosse professionally if you want to. You can play at the highest level amongst sports as a pro. And that's a really cool thing. So another thing that I'm super grateful for, Oakley says so too. And yeah, so I think, like, what was when you shifted over, what were some of the most difficult kind of moves over? What were some of the most difficult things to start up the WPLL and start from scratch, in a sense, right? To be able to provide those opportunities I was talking about on a pro level.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of learnings that needed to be things to learn, I should say. So because we were essentially a team of it was Caitlin Jackson and I and DJ over the top, we kind of had to build everything. So from every sponsorship, our travel, I mean, venues, travel, budgets, fundraising, players. I mean, it was everything, building it from the ground up. I think the steepest learning curve was probably around like sponsorships. That's a skill, and it's very technical, and you need to have experience doing it. So I really leaned on, my network of people that had done that before and had expertise or contacts, and just jumped 2 feet in. Like, how can I learn how to do this? How can we get in the room with somebody's brand and make pitches on behalf of the league? And when I look back at our first deck, I cringe a little bit because it was on like Google Slides. And it wasn't great. By the time we left, we had we had perfected the pitch and had gotten in rooms with some big brands, and were really working on making an impact. Obviously women's sports are not often invested in. They're seen as more of a cause and a cost as opposed to a business investment. And we couldn't quite shift that narrative for the WPLL, but I learned a ton about professional sports and how to build a business. And I think super grateful for all those experiences.
Yeah, what's cool about that? You look back at the first project, right? And then you laugh at it now. But isn't that like, it's a cool moment because you come for full circle and you look back and you're like, wow, this is where I started, but also look at where I am now. And where you are now is the PLL Academy, one of the fastest growing sports leagues in literally the world right now, PLL. And I know that, obviously we're very close with a lot of the players and a lot of you administrators in the PLL as well. And we just want really great things to happen for the sport in general. So to be able to see the sport on real live TV channels, I think one of the coolest things that I'll kind of connect the PLL with in this conversation is the first summer that it was. What was the first summer of the PLL?
2019.
19, correct? Yes. So 2019, I was, in some random state, in some random hotel, as usual, doing some sort of event. And I walked down into the lobby all tired, looking for some sort of snack. And there was a young kid who was just sitting there with his family. And it looked like a football game on TV. Out of the corner of my eye, I look up and it's a PLL game. And I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. It's on actual broadcast TV where I'm sitting here thinking, oh, it's just another football game. I'm not even going to look up and check it. It's our sport. And that's where it should be, right? And I think that's what the PLL is doing a really great job at leading the charge with. So you're the head of the PLL Academy now. What do you think is so special about kind of like your role over there, the team that you work with over there, your time there with PLL? Kind of talk on like your favorite moments with them so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think having partnered with them at the WPLL, I got a little glimpse into the culture and just the leadership and what they were about, and sort of knew someday I wanted to work with them, for them in some capacity, and have spent obviously the last year with the team, and it's in a really incredible group. Everybody is really good at what they do. So our operations team is world class. Our graphics team, every time they make a graphic, my mind is blown, and they're probably sick of me being like, "Oh my god, that's so amazing! How do you do that?" Because every time it just continues to surprise me how incredible it is. Our media team, I mean, it's just like BD, like everybody that, like every division, every vertical is so driven and so talented, and so bought into what we're trying to do. And when you have a group of people that are talented and focused and driven, it's pretty incredible. On the academy front, it's great because we're connecting with the youth. So we are able to kind of help grow the PLL through the academy, which is a pretty cool opportunity. And I get to see, like, kind of what you said when we just were at IMG, Rabel overnight, and you see the moment that Paul walks in the room and the response of these kids. I mean, he's their hero. And like when you see kids have that connection with an athlete and the impact that these athletes can have on these kids, it's pretty powerful and humbling that like we get to participate in something like that.
That's awesome. I mean, that moment can only be, I remember the first time I met Paul Rabel. So I can only imagine like for these young kids, and I was like 21. So completely different situation, but kind of similar. So I think it's really great what you guys are doing, obviously, and just getting involved with the PLL Academy. And I think a lot of the future of this sport obviously lies in what we're doing now, but also in this next generation. So I think it's so important to be obviously investing in the next generation of players and just people that are going to help grow our sport forward. What was your favorite part? So I think this is really interesting because obviously this past year, like you said, you started in March of last year. So you've been working in mostly, virtual with the PLL Academy. And, but you got to go to the bubble. They played in the bubble last summer in 2020. And it was really awesome to watch from home, especially like you said, just all the social and the vlogs and everything. Like I was following everything because I thought it was so incredible. You felt like you were there. What was it like to actually be there?
I mean, it was pretty awesome. It was, the players called it adult summer camp. I mean, we all remember like lax camp when you were in middle school and high school, and it was just like snacks, lax, and like games with your friends. And that's basically what it was for the players. Obviously it was a ton of work. The months leading up were, it was, so much work had to be done to keep everybody safe and plan it and make sure we had what we needed when we got there. And on site, it was pretty brutal in terms of just time. Like we worked long days, but it was the fun kind of hard. We in between games, there was just so many great moments and just so many memories built. I think we had all been quarantined. So to be around people, particularly people that you like and are connected with, felt like such a gift at the time. I had seen nobody but my family for months. So I think we all really appreciated that time together. The players were super appreciative. We got to watch lacrosse for 3 weeks. I mean, that's kind of a dream. And like build some really great relationships. I mean, one of my favorite people, I think on earth now, is Coach Tierney. He was in the bubble with us, and we had an ops room. We spent most of our days in, and I can't explain to you how hilarious and great and amazing he is. We would have like a stand up every 2 days in the morning. We'd go to the turf and kind of talk about what we need to get done. And he would often sort of lead that, and the coach in him just came out. Like he would just get us so fired up and have such words of wisdom and just be so inspiring, and those moments that were unexpected and just like really amazing, I think made that experience really special.
That's awesome. I'm going to forever follow those vlogs and everything, because I think it's really great what the PLL is putting out there, because you see those moments, right? And I think those moments are really important to just kind of like the heart of the organization, the heart of what you see out on the field from the players, which is what these young kids look up to, and what we're kind of looking to do as well, especially on the women's side. Which is what I wanted to talk about next. We have something cool that just came out. I mean, whenever you're listening to this podcast episode, right now it is March 17th, 2021. And on March 8th, International Women's Day, you guys launched something called Unleashed Women's Lacrosse. For our listeners who don't know what Unleashed is or don't follow Unleashed, what is that? What is Unleashed?
So Unleashed is two things. One, it is events. It is events for girls and women training up. Oh yes, you got it on. Love it. I just ordered mine today.
I love
it. So yeah, it's a training opportunities, right? So we spent in 2020. We were able to run some girls events, and it was really important to me to have that offering within the PL and create that opportunity, and it went really well. I mean, when you have like the best trainers and coaches and athletes in the world, like girls show up to learn. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it, which I'm equally excited about, is it's a platform for girls in the space to learn about themselves, to learn about athletes, to support each other and create a place where people are sort of uplifted and feel part of something. Because I think we're all connected through lacrosse, but we're also much more than lacrosse players. And I think that storytelling aspect has been missing from our sport, the women's side particularly. And PLL has done a great job on the men's side, and I'm super excited to have athletes involved. Obviously, Katie DeCecco is doing an incredible job, but the graphics team and the social team at PLL has also gotten behind it and really supported it. And I'm just really excited to see what we're able to do and the impact we're going to be able to have on the women's game with Unleashed.
I'm excited too. I think when you guys came to us with that idea, I mean, it's like you said, it's been missing from the women's game. So I can't wait to see what the creative minds at the PLL come up with, because it's already started a lot of really cool conversation and a lot of really cool stuff out there on the media. And I think it's only been 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And I know Katie DeCecco's got some good stuff up her sleeve. I might have to have her on the podcast, right?
You should. You definitely should.
I'm going to see her this weekend. I'll ask her that. But that's I'm excited. I think the best thing that I think one of my favorite things about you as a person is that you always continue to give back to the women's side of the game. And I think that's really admirable. It's obviously something that I take a lot of pride in myself. But I think you working in an organization that is for men's professional lacrosse and being able to bring women into it and bring the women's side of the game into it in any way you can, I think that's, incredibly admirable and incredibly respectable. And we really appreciate everything that you do to do that. So I just wanted to, again, I think this is like the 12th time that I've think.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you also mentioned something as well, like, yes, we're lacrosse players. Yes, that's what most of the world that follows us know about us, right? Because that's how they found us. That's what they relate to us about. But we're also people. So can you tell our listeners who Rachael is off the field? We know you like Ali Love on Peloton.
I love Ali Love.
4 children.
I have 4 children. An awesome husband. It's funny. I don't know that my off-field and on-field personalities totally match up. In some ways they do, but I'm pretty clumsy, kind of goofy, not always the smoothest person. When on the field, when I'm down, and I think I'm kind of in one mindset, and then I'll feel different. I love, obviously, to spend time with my family. I love to do puzzles. Quarantine is like very much up to my puzzle game. I got a giant puzzle table for my birthday, so now I can just
a table.
It is a table. It's like just basically a flat table, and there's drawers, and then you just like put the pieces in the drawer, because you know when you do a puzzle and you just like leave it on a table, then you can't use the table, you miss pieces. So the kids and Jason got me a puzzle table, which is like maybe the nerdiest thing I've ever gotten, but I love it. So now when we do a puzzle, if we're not finished, we just slide it like under the anywhere. It's really like it's under the chair right now, and then we'll pull it out and do some puzzling. And I love bad television. Like that's sort of where I zone out. Like so I had to give that up. So oftentimes one of the kids is watching TV with me, so I have to be pretty selective, but like when I'm alone, the trashier the better. I'm also kind of obsessed with Hallmark rom-coms. It's really always been a huge
of course you have to.
I mean,
for me and Luke Hogan, you have to watch the Hallmark rom-coms. They make you cry every single time.
And Tari official Lex and I, we sort of have a running list with each other. And like Christmas, obviously it's like 30 days, you can't every night. And my husband's like, this is the same movie. You realize, just like different people in a different small town. Like, I'm like, I understand, but I know what to expect. Like, it's comforting. They're going to fall in love and get married, and everyone's going to live happily ever after.
Have you ever noticed that it's like the 58th minute of every Hallmark movie? That's like the first time that they kiss.
No, but I know there's a formula they use. Clearly. No, I will. I really I can't get enough of it. And Netflix jumped in with like the Christmas Prince. I'm all in on that.
That was a good
such a good one. Yeah, so I love like rom-com movies and bad television.
Love that. Okay, tell us about all four of your kids. If you had to describe them each.
Oh goodness. Okay, let's start with the twins. Annie, we call her, she's a bit savage, and I mean that in like a really nice way. She is bold. She owns who she is. She's not going to follow anybody. She's going to do her thing. And she's very competitive. She's probably the most like me in that way. Stella is her twin, who is so silly and so weird in such a cool way, and is really funny and doesn't realize always that she's funny. Like, we'll laugh and be like, you're really funny, and she thinks like, are you laughing at me? No, we're laughing with you because you're hilarious. So they have a really great banter going between the two of them because they're so different. Grayson is almost 10, the only boy.
Almost 10.
He's almost 10. He'll be 10 in May. He's like Mr. Sunshine. That's the best way to describe him. He wakes up happy. He's happy to be wherever he is. He's grateful for everything. Like, he's the first one to be like, I love you so much, or thank you so much, or can we do this together? He's just kind of like a love that way. And he's gotten really into the PLL, obviously, from me working there, which is fun to kind of have that sort of bond with him.
Is he playing?
He is playing.
That's awesome.
He started playing last year, and he loves it. So that feels like a win.
Check.
And then Avery, Avery. Avery is my oldest. She is an old soul. She is full of personality. She's really sensitive and dialed into like everybody around her. So super empathetic, super emotional in a loving way. She always has very crazy stories to tell. She can turn like the most mundane situation into like a very long, hilarious story. And she, you're the oldest, so you kind of know that big sister mentality. She certainly has that as well.
Nice. I love it. I remember she would come to a lot of our WPLL events, and she would always have the best stories. And I was like, how old are you? And you're telling a story like this? Like, you need your own talk show. Like, I don't know what I'm doing as a podcast host. I think I need Avery to come be my podcast host for me.
Yeah. That was one of the best parts. I got to bring her to nearly every event, and she loved it. I love to have her around, you guys as women and players, and she was happy to kind of join in on the fun as well.
Yeah, that was, that's really great for her to be able to like see it firsthand. And I think that we obviously enjoyed it as players too, just being able to hang out with her. That's so crazy to hear how old they are and how awesome they are. I knew that already, but so okay, last couple questions, and then we'll finish with a little segment I like to call quick finishes. Go. But a little bit of inspiration to finish off with. We talked about a lot of your mentors and people in your life who inspire you, from Chris Seller to Chrissy Samaras to, all of your Princeton teammates that you still consider sisters to your family. What do you think is one piece of advice that has truly just kind of stuck with you that you've taken either from the lacrosse field or from all these experiences into life as Rachael now?
Yes. So my dad's probably, I mentor is the wrong word because he's my dad, but he's been very close with him, like, and bonded through sport. And he's always like the voice in my head, kind of guiding me through decisions and just in general. And his favorite thing to say is the 5 Ps. So prior preparation prevents poor performance, which is pretty technical and like kind of boring, but he's exactly right. Like if you prepare, you're going to do a good job. And then he'll always be like, if something doesn't go well, he'll look at me and he'll be like 5 Ps. I'm like, I know what you mean there.
Right.
And then, thanks, Dad. I'm almost 40, but thanks for the feedback. And then I think the other one that I don't, I have a hard time subscribing to myself, but I think is so important for young girls to hear is about like your self-talk, what you tell yourself about yourself. If you treat yourself like you would treat your best friend, like if you hear yourself saying that, that negative, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't. If you wouldn't speak that way to your best friend or your sister, like why would you treat yourself that way? And that's something, obviously I have 3 girls, and that confidence that I'm trying to instill in them will carry with them forever. And it's hard to stop that negative voice in your head when you're trying to be better and do better. And it can drive you in some ways, but I also think it can be really damaging if you don't take care of yourself and believe in yourself. And I think it's a really clear way to really stop and say, okay, if I wouldn't treat somebody I care about like this, why would I treat myself like this? Oakley agrees.
He agrees. This is a way of saying it. Oh man. Oh. Okay. So I love that 5 Ps, first of all. So thank you. Shout out to your dad. Please tell him I said thank you because it's one of the ones I just wrote down. Okay. So, and you also just answered the second half of that question as well. Things that, hey. Okay. Oh man. Things that you would tell a younger version of Rachael. I think that's important, that self-talk, because most of the time we spend all of our time in our own heads, right? Like no matter what. So I think that's really important to treat yourself as if you would treat your best friend. So we have one question from our KO17 lacrosse family, and that would be what your advice would be on making mistakes and how do you bounce back from mistakes on the field, off the field, just in general, that resilience, and what your advice would be for that.
Yeah, I think it can be really hard because the mistakes, you can kind of like, sometimes I do this, if I make a mistake, I just think about it like forever. So a couple of things. One is to let go of it, learn from it, certainly think about what happened, but then move on, because like lingering and kind of letting yourself wallow in it isn't going to help. And I think like having somebody in your life that you can kind of talk through it with, if it's on the field, whether it be a coach or a teammate, or if it's something with a friendship, building a support network that you can kind of talk through the mistake with, and sort of, having that dialogue helps you kind of unwind the source of it and probably minimize it. I think oftentimes when you make a mistake, it's much bigger in your head than it actually is. So having that person to kind of dialogue with always helps me, like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, or it's going to be okay. I actually, and this is another piece of advice that one of the best bosses I had, she had this rule, and she was like, when something happens, think about how you feel about it in 2 hours, think about how you feel about it in 2 days, think about how you feel about it in 2 weeks, think about how you feel about it in 2 months. Like if it doesn't pass the 2-week test, then just let it go, because it feels like the world is ending right now, but in 2 weeks, if this like isn't going to be on your radar, just move on. And I use that to myself all the time when something happens and you think, oh no, this is like catastrophic, or, everything is ruined. And I'm like, actually in 2 weeks, it's not going to matter. Then I can just move on from it, and like give yourself permission to let go and move on, I think is really important.
That's amazing. I think a lot of the things that I worry about, and even just a lot of people that I talk to too, a lot of them wouldn't even pass the 2-hour test.
It's true.
Crazy how much we stress ourselves out about the things that go on in our days. So that's a really cool rule. And I'm going to remember that one tomorrow when I start to stress out about something that's not going to even pass the 2-minute test. So I'm just gonna be like, Rachael said it's not gonna matter in 2 minutes. Let's just time 2 minutes and see if
I love it.
All right, so we are coming up at the end of our podcast here. We are gonna end on a nice little fun note called quick finishes. So quick little like first answer that comes to your mind kind of questions, fun ones, and then we'll wrap up. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I mean, any Hallmark rom-com that's set in the winter in a small town. I'm good.
Well, all of them.
Literally all of them. Or Steel Magnolias if I have to pick one.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yep.
Pizza or tacos?
Cake, but pizza. I'm a sweet tooth, but if I had to pick between pizza and tacos, I say pizza.
I like your answer better. I'm gonna add that as an option. Okay, what's your favorite number and why?
Oh, 25. That's an easy one. It became my number in college. It was a riff off of my number 5 in high school. It also happens to be my husband's number, and now all of our kids' numbers. So it's a nice round number, 25, everything. It's my favorite.
I love that your kids wear it too.
Yes.
One new thing that you've picked up over the last year in quarantine or in this new world that we live in? Puzzles?
Oh God. I mean, I picked back up my love of puzzles. We did a lot walking. So I think I used to, as an athlete, think walking like, oh, why walk? But I've spent a lot of time walking in quarantine just as a wellness, not necessarily just movement, not as an exercise, but early mornings, clear my head, get some space. And I'm still doing it. I think it's really helped me create some balance and just time to myself to kind of get out of the chaos that can be life sometimes.
Love it. I agree with you. Sometimes we only think about running, right? And I think like athletes, so being able to slow down and walk, it's the best way.
Yep.
Okay. Favorite place that you've traveled to?
Oh, okay. So Italy, but also Japan, because how can it not be?
I know we didn't even get to touch on that.
Oh, we didn't get in Japan.
But for those of you listening, we got to go to Japan together. Rachael was another person that was in Japan who made that Japan trip possible for all of us that I rant and rave about almost every single episode. Because I've had Murray on here, I've had Lauren Lee on here, and we just
the best.
It was just an incredible 4 days in Tokyo, and I wish we could go back, and I hope that we can do something along those lines again real soon. So yeah, that goes into my next one. If you could do a trip like that again, where would you go?
Oh, I mean, it would be hard to not go back to Japan, but I think Australia is on my bucket list, and there's a lot of lax there. I also think Africa. I'm so moved by the things I see from Kenya and Uganda lacrosse and like the purity of the game over there. I'd love to have the opportunity to go there and just help spread the game and like teach kids how to play. I'm
there. Count me in.
Let's do it.
Love it. I think we'd get the entire Japan trip back on board. So the Japan
100%.
All right. So if you didn't play lacrosse, what sport would you want to play?
I think basketball. I love NCAA basketball. I think it's very similar to lacrosse, and they're like, I don't have the swagger to play basketball, but I think like a lot of athletes with the most swagger are basketball players.
Okay. All right. So you would play basketball to get the swag.
Yeah, it might help me. Maybe.
I like that thought process. That's a good one. Okay, last two. Who is one athlete that you admire?
Oh, there's so many. I think obviously Serena Williams comes to mind first, just for her sustained excellence. When I was a kid, it was there wasn't a lot of women's sports figures, so it was Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie. Like those women were role models and just like doing it before anybody knew or cared that they were doing it. So I really admire just their their love of the game and the purity they brought to it.
Awesome. All right, last but not least, one thing on Rachael's bucket list.
Oh, this is a good one. I really want to get an RV and drive across the country with my family. Like spend 2 weeks just hitting like all fun parts of the country.
Would you go south first, or would you go across the northern part first, or would you go just straight down the middle?
No, I think north, but the like Geek and me would probably do like months of research before we decided. So I think north, but I think it depends on like where my research led me. I just think like I want them to see other parts of the country and world someday, but like the RV thing just sounds ridiculous and like fun and horrible, but amazing. So I want to do that with them someday, in a few years when everybody's a little older, but that's on the bucket list.
I love it. I can't wait to follow that trip on social media.
That'll be a good one.
It'd be so much fun to follow. I love it. But thank you so much for literally everything that you've dropped on us today. All the wisdom, all the little tidbits, all the little 5 Ps, everything that you've said today. I mean, I know it personally because I've been lucky enough to have gotten to know you as a person and as a friend and as a someone that I've leaned on for a lot of advice in this lacrosse world that we live in. So again, thank you if I haven't said it yet in this episode.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
And thank you for being willing to come on and hang out with KO17 Lacrosse and the Dream On and everything that you do to support us. I'm excited for the future of this game. I'm excited for Unleashed. I'm excited for a lot of the things that we'll continue to do together. So hopefully we can get to Australia and Africa and all the places real soon.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. That was another Dream On episode with Rachael DeCecco. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.